Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Day to you. Welcome to Game Day Live, presented by the Let's Go Devils podcast network and the Primetime Radio studios, along with And Crew Brew. My name is Vinnie, here with Short Sky and Beer Baron as we get you set for Game 3 of the New Jersey Devils hockey season as they take on the Florida Panthers at The Rock. Welcome to everybody listening on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch. The Devils are 1-0-1, looking to add more points to the bank. Beer Baron live at American Whiskey. How
That's
you
right.
doing?
Doing good, man. It's a nice atmosphere here. Looks like everybody's getting ready for the game. We got a couple people from Florida, or at least transplants from Florida, who are sitting at the corner of the bar waiting to go into the game. So you got a couple of Florida Panther fans like scattered here and there, but for the most part, we got Devils fans all looking ready to rock and roll. We got some hooligans behind me over here. I've been mixing it up. I had to break up a fight or two. These guys are getting a little wild back here, but just showing you that the season's ready to rock and roll.
They better chill. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the point of hockey season. Everybody just gets annoyed with each other and hates each other. If you don't root for my team, I hate you. I can't recall ever seeing a Florida Panthers jersey out in the wild. I've been to the draft. I've been to AHL games where people wear jerseys of all 32 teams. I can't recall ever seeing a Florida Panthers jersey not in Florida.
I gotta say, dude, there's a few. There's this amazing couple over here. You guys, if you look over the camera, you can wave over here. We got a couple of friends here from, like I said, they transplanted from Florida up to Jersey. But I saw somebody with the retro reverse jersey from last year, and they commented on mine. I commented on theirs. It's just like a different feel. You know, when you have somebody that you're playing that's not like direct rival, it's not as like aggressive. You know, you don't walk up to people and you're not like, hey, go screw yourself. Yeah. It's kind of like a nice, like, hey, nice to see you. Like, are you from Florida? You know, it's like a nice conversation. So hopefully, you know, we embarrass them out of the building, but we do it in a polite kind of way.
Absolutely, and the Florida Panthers, who are the defending Prince of Wales Trophy winners the Eastern Conference champions, they lost to the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup Final last year, and they haven't won yet this season. What's going on with Florida? How do you feel as the Devils get set to take them on in game number 3 of this season?
You know, it makes me nervous when you have a team that hasn't won yet, and I know the season's still early, and we want to make them go 0-3 because the last thing we want to do is have a team come in here and use us as like, hey, you know what, we need to get our season right. Let's go and embarrass these guys on their home ice. The Devils need to come out fast. They need to go out there. They need to do what they have to do in the first period, and they got to make sure they set the tone early. Florida is a hell of a team. You know they're not going to be 0-3, 0-4, 0-5. They're going to find their way to get through what they're going through right now. Let's just make sure that tonight is not that night.
Absolutely, and joining us live now after some interesting, couple minutes missing. We're not going to make fun of them at all for it. We got Short Sky in the house. What's going on?
What's going on, boys? Beer Baron, I'm with you on that. I think it was Beer Baron or Vinnie was saying that this could be a tough team. This is last year's Eastern Conference champions. So yeah. It's no one that we can take lightly because whether you agree with them being in the Cup final or not, or whether you think they deserve to be there or not, they were there. They beat out every other team that they needed to make it to the Cup final. So this team can be sneaky good. Actually, they've proven they could be really good. I think sneaky good would apply more to Arizona from the other night.
Yes.
But
yes.
Tonight with...
I think what he's trying to say is tonight what we have is we have a situation of a team that knows they're good. They're coming out. Maybe they have a little bit of a hangover from last year. Maybe that's what's carrying over into this year. They do have some injuries. But listen, you can't underestimate a team that's 0-2, especially the Florida Panthers. We know what they have. They have Tkachuk, for crying out loud. You know they're going to be a hard, heavy team. So this is a team that the Devils have been slow to get going. In that Arizona game, you go down down 2-0 right away. You can't do that against the Panthers. They're not going to let you claw back in, no pun intended. So, like I said before, I'm just hoping that they find a way to really muscle this game and really, listen, the top 6, they made that change with Palat. The top 6, they have to make their presence known tonight.
Absolutely. And, guys, we've seen Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, that line kind of get off to a really nice start with Tyler Toffoli. and no points combined between Nico Hischier, Dawson Mercer, and Timo Meier. Obviously, those guys are looking to provide offense. That's what they get paid for this team, in addition to other things, of course. Timo Meier, big body, power forward, going to lay down some hits. Hischier's a Selke Trophy favorite going into every season going forward. We know what Mercer can bring, but now they got Palat. What are you expecting from the top line as they change over? Shorts guy, before your internet craps out again, we'll get to you first.
Yeah, whatever this coaching staff tries to do, I believe in them, and I believe that we have such a deep top 6 or a deep top 12.
Top 9. Yeah, top
9, top 12. Whatever. Moving Palat, I think, is going to be good. I think we have a lot of interchangeable players. Being one of the deepest top 6, top 9, top 12, whatever you want to call it. I think all these moves, it's very much like last season, to where, yeah, we have, first line, second line, third line, but I think all 3 of these lines could easily be a first line on any other team. So I'm expecting this to, hopefully work out tonight, and I have no problem with them toying with the lines a little bit, because they see something they don't like. They got to make that change and not let us get too far down the road in a hole.
Yeah, I agree. Bear Baron, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, like I said before, the interchangeable pieces that Shorts guy was bringing to or alluding to, the fact that they can move Palat up to that Nico line, and it's not going to damage the team, where it's not going to be like, oh, now you're going to short side one of the other lines. You moving Dawson Mercer down to the third line doesn't do anything except for the fact that maybe it makes the third line a little bit more dynamic. So any way they balance it, I feel like it's going to be all right. I really do believe it's up to the team to just come out. I sound like a broken record already. I know we only have a short amount of time, but come out fast, come out hot, get on your toes, put them on their heels, really start to push the play. And goaltending is going to be another thing. Goaltending for the Devils has been huge the last 2 games. They're going to rely on the goaltending because there's going to be mistakes on the defensive side. Luke Hughes, being a rookie, there's going to be like some, Brandon Smith bonehead plays maybe here and there, but goaltending has to stay solid. But offensively, they need to push the play early. Push the play early and push the play often.
Speaking of goaltending, since our last show on the Let's Go Devils podcast, Game Day Live, Mackenzie Blackwood decided to have a 50-save, 1 goal against performance for the San Jose Sharks.
Saves. 51 saves.
Yeah, and I think Colorado
about that last night.
Yeah, Colorado scored on their 50th shot, Cale Makar, and they lost in a shootout. San Jose did. Now we got Vitek Vanacek going against Sergei Bobrovsky. 2 goalies people expect to play well. What's going on in net for the Devils tonight? Are you looking for more of the same from Vitek? I mean, I'm sure he saw what McKenzie did in San Jose, and he's like, man, I got to play well for the Devils. Otherwise, people are going to start, begging for someone else here. He played really well in his first start, though. I will say that. He played outstanding in his first start. So can we see more of the same?
Yeah, I think we're going to see more of the same. I don't know if it'll really weigh on him that much about how well McKenzie did over out there in San Jose. He's probably happy for him because I'm sure that they were friends on some level. But I don't know if it's going to affect him to the point where he says, oh, I have to play well to justify being here, because the Devils signed him long-term, at least 3 years long-term, for a reason. So I want to say that, just do it. He just has to do what he can do, and that's stop the puck for the New Jersey Devils. I think Vitek will be fine. Let's not forget, there's only one other goalie in franchise history that has more wins than Vitek in a season, and his name is Martin Brodeur, and he was pretty darn good. So I feel like Vitek is pretty confident in his in his spot in the team, and he just has to play like he did on Thursday. But I think the team needs to make sure that they are not. I think the team has to make sure they're not allowing a ton of shots in the first period, like they did on Thursday, and to give him some goal support too.
And Beer Baron,
the goal support.
You have some thoughts on the goaltending?
Yeah, so the goal support's going to be huge tonight. I feel like, listen, the Panthers, they always make me a little nervous because that's a grinding team. They're going to pepper.
Absolutely. They showed that last year.
Yeah, they're going to pepper the goalie. They're going to get into Vitek's face. They're going to make it a little bit difficult for him. I feel like if he could just play his game like you were saying, like just play your game and let everything else kind of sort itself out. I feel like there's more weight on the offensive side than anything else where they are going to have to carry it and to just rely on Vitek just to make the save when he has to make the save. Mm-hmm. As you were saying before, like, does he look at Mackenzie Blackwood and say, like, oh, man, he faced 51, now I got to kind of, like, do the same? I feel like he needs to do what's going to keep him the number one goalie over Akira Schmidt. I don't know if that makes sense, but, like, I feel like if I was Vitek, I would want to be like, all right, I need to play my best so the team looks at me as the number one. I don't think it works that way with those guys. I don't even know if they feel that way about each other. But as a competitor, and Shorts Guy, maybe you could speak to this, like, as a competitor, as a goaltender out on the ice, I want to be the guy that's out there. So yeah. I want to go out and I want to show out. I want to have, like, a shutout, or I want to have, like, a 51 save, 1 goal game, or 1 goal against game, and show the coaches, be like, listen, you can count on me on any kind of situation. Breakaway, 2-on-1, 5-on-3, PK, it doesn't matter. I'm your Stonewall. I got this. And I feel like there's also another piece that we don't really talk about as much. The playoffs last year, where Vitek came into a game, everybody cheered for him against Carolina, and then he got shelled, and I don't want to say he got booed, but it wasn't a good situation. And you could see after the game, he felt it. And he was emotionally just he was disturbed by it. Hopefully, he took that lesson from last year, and he's walking into this season saying, you know what? I can't let that happen again. He hears the building. When we get loud, when we do the VTech chant, when everybody's getting loud, he hears that, and he appreciates the hell out of that. And so hopefully tonight, he'll be hearing a lot of VTech chants. He'll understand that when he's playing good, we're behind him. Even when he's playing bad, we're behind him. But
we should be.
Should be.
But should be.
Unfortunately, there's sometimes people take, like, you could boo anything. But anyways, hopefully everybody's behind him. Just have a solid game. You let in 1, you let in 2. That's okay. We have the firepower to make that up. Just hold down the fort in the back end, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm just going to. I just want to finish one thing up there. You're right. He is a competitor, and he's going to want that starting role, and unless there's something that they've agreed between him and Schmidt. But I will tell you this: no goalie ever wants to have to make 51 saves, because that means that there's something not going right in front of you. So I don't think if he was in a situation and needed to make the 51 saves, he'd be good with it. No goalie wants to have to make that many saves in a game, because that means that
you're
the other guys on the ice, you're working your tail off, and the other guys are not working theirs off. So I just had to say that.
Yeah, and part of me thinks Mackenzie Blackwood is going to have a lot of similar type performances this year playing for that San Jose Sharks team, and they're not going to all go as swimmingly as they did in that game. But kind of switching gears a little bit, last year the Florida Panthers and New Jersey Devils kind of had a little bit of bad blood.
Yes, they did.
Nico Hischier and
of all players,
Sasha Barkov.
Exactly. Well, Barkov, but it was Ekblad that he had the face-off against, right? And then he leaned into Barkov's leg. Oh, I'm okay, thank you. He leaned into Barkov's leg, and then everybody was like, oh, that was dirty play. And then the Panthers took a run at him. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that tonight, because is that going to carry over from last year? Because it felt like after that one game they played, Nico explained himself. Ekblad came out and was like, dude, it's fine. Like, he wasn't trying to intentionally hurt me. And it felt like everything kind of settled out. But let's not forget, dude, when we beat them, Tkachuk took a run at him. It felt like their water boy took a run at him. Like, everybody took a run at poor Nico. So let's see what happens.
The least suspecting player you think people would ever want to take runs at.
All right. There are probably people in South Beach that think Hischier's like a dirty player, and really he was like a Lady Bing top 10 guy every year. He has a better chance to win the Lady Bing now than Zach, or than Jack Hughes. I mean,
yeah, that's the funny thing.
I mean, it's crazy, and So when they play a team like the Panthers, you have Jack Hughes and Matthew Tkachuk kind of leading the way for each team. Last year, I think you can argue they were the two best American-born players in the NHL. Now this year, Austin Matthews is like, guys, I'm healthy. My wrist feels good. I have 6 goals in the first 2 games. Forget about these
back-to-back Hatties.
Literally, back-to-back Hatties. We call them the Matty trick or the Matt trick, the Austin Matthews trick.
Yeah.
Tkachuk and Hughes are right there in that mix. I think Matthews probably has them both beat. But, I mean, these two guys are going to be forces for the American-born players for a long time. And talk me through maybe how excited you are to watch them go head-to-head. Short Scott.
I think it's going to be fun to watch them go head-to-head tonight. Like you said, you're seeing two of the best American-born players right now that are not named Austin Matthews. It's going to be a really good time. They're two different types of players. Tkachuk is more of a grinder while he's out there scoring goals. And Jack is more of a finesse guy. So 2 different styles of play, but I'll be excited to see these two to put on the same Team USA sweater eventually at the same time.
Let me interrupt just to say I got these hooligans behind me that they're asking me to do a shot. This is what's so fun about being at American Whiskey live, by the way. You get some crazy fans who want to do a shot with you. You can't say no. So we're going to do a shot. We're going to do a shot for the Devil's Voice.
Let's go, Barrett.
There we go.
All right.
There
Who's
we go.
your shot dedicated to, though? What player scoring on behalf of that shot?
Yeah, first goal of the night, Jack Hughes.
Hey!
There you go.
I'll take it.
There you go.
I'll take it.
Woo! Thank you. Thanks.
Well, Beer Baron, the Devils haven't scored first yet this season. A little concerning.
Well,
no?
that's going to change
Third
tonight,
game?
boys. That's going to
Okay.
change tonight.
You're hoping it changes
All right,
tonight.
well, I took a shot to it. I know I have to.
Yeah, on behalf of the shot you took with the hooligans at American Whiskey before the game started.
Exactly. I said Jack Hughes, but at the same time, you know who I really feel like is going to score the first goal tonight? It's Nico Hischier. I feel like Nico's been grinding. I feel like that change with Palat on that top line. And to circle back to what you're saying about Tkachuk and Hughes, yes, dude, I love seeing these American kids because, first of all, when the Olympics comes back around, there's talks that the NHL is going to allow the Americans to go over there. The American team right now is stacked, absolutely stacked. Jack, Austin Matthews, both Tkachuk boys, shoot, even all 3 Hughes
Possibly,
boys.
Yeah, Luke and Quinn.
You have, and I mean, Hellebuck and Net.
Good.
They have one hell of a team, and if it all comes to fruition, and they do allow them to go to the Olympics, I feel bad to whoever they choose to be the coach because, trying to choose lines, trying to choose who's going to be on that team is going to be kind of ridiculous. But Nico Hischier and Timo Meier, I feel like that line, it's not like they were doing bad. They were doing the right things. Just wasn't like clicking all the way. Bringing Palat to this line, I feel like he kind of evens out. He's going to be the one to go in the corner and grind it out. I feel like he's going to be like that complementary piece. Whereas if you look at Mercer with Holtz, I feel like that's really going to work out really well too because there's a similarity in how they play as well. So my hope is that this Hischier line comes out tonight and they really set the tone. They're going to be grinding in the corners. They're going to be I feel like they're going to be the line that's going to be relied on the heaviest. Yes, you have Nico who's going to be, playing that both sides, the full ice kind of game. But look for the offensive pop in that line too. So I'm feeling this line tonight. I have a feeling that Nico's going to get the first goal. I said Jack was in the heat of the moment, taking a shot. I didn't know what I was saying, but I'm going to go with Nico.
Absolutely. I mean, our friend Sam Wu, hot take, Timo Meier has 2 goals tonight against the Florida Panthers.
All right. Might not be wrong.
I think there's a chance that line, at least somebody gets on the board. There's no way they go 3 in a row. I mean, it did seem last year when the Devils started 0-2, Hischier scored the goal and set up the game winner against the Ducks that got them on track. Yep. And, they started playing well from that point on. The Devils are 1-0-1. They have 3 out of 4 points. It's not a bad start. But I think we all agree they've started a little slower in terms of the way they've played. And, a guy like Hischier, he's the captain. He's always kind of like the spider monkey, always working hard kind of guy. He kind of, in a lot of ways, reminds me of a center, better defensively. a lot more Selke gifted type player, like what Zach Parise used to bring in terms of like the motor always going.
Yep.
And Heischer's like that. And I feel like when you're looking to set a tone early in a game against a really good team, a guy like Hischier is one who kind of gets it going. And then you use the guys like Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt to kind of like keep it going and bring skill to the table. Last thing we'll touch on is that Jack Hughes thing before we get to our predictions. He's been on fire this season. I think he's right there with guys like Austin Matthews and McDavid, like in terms of production.
Tied for second.
Tied for second. Hart Trophy aspirations, I would assume, has to be in the back of his head.
The Lady Bing's
hard
out
to
the
win
window.
it
We
in
know
this
that.
league. Lady Bing
Lady
out the
Bing's
window. He has
way
a better
gone.
chance-
Yeah.
he has a better chance of winning the Selke Trophy, I honestly think, because the way he like steals pucks, and if he ever starts like winning faceoffs like on a heavy basis and contributes defensively. But I mean, the start to his season has just been magnificent, and I can't wait to see what comes of it. So what are we thinking for Jack Hughes tonight, as he's probably going to get – it is at home, so he's not going to have Sasha Barkov in his face quite like he would if he were in South Beach, but I'm still going to guess that he still gets a healthy heaping, dose of Barkov in his face, a good amount.
Yeah, I'm expecting Jack to have a big game again tonight. He seems to be going into that role, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a big game on the scoreboard, by scoring goals or assists, but at least doing something to make this team better off the puck, or setting up a play leading into a zone. He's got that skill, even just to distract the Panthers away from the puck carrier, or who may eventually become the puck carrier or goal scorer. Jack's got that. Jack has that magic to him, but selfishly, as not only a Devils fan, but as a fantasy hockey manager, I want him to score as many goals as possible, because I need those points because I lost week 1.
Yeah.
See, I have Hischier, so let's get on the board tonight, Hischier.
Yeah, dude. You know what though, Jack? You know when you could tell a dude's feeling it out there, like when they're seeing the ice differently than everybody else. In that home opener, on that second goal, like the first goal, first of all, I don't think we talked about it enough. The angle that he shot it in, and they asked him after the game, they're like, were you trying to do that? And he goes, yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody knows, like goaltenders know that that's what I'm trying to do now. Like if you leave that window open,
trying to do.
Yeah, like, but and that's kind of become more of a thing, I feel like, in the last couple years. But like Hughes, if you give him that opening, if you lean away from that post, he's putting it off the back of your dome and into your net. And that's got to be, Shorts guy, that has to be one of the most embarrassing things to ever happen. Like, unless like a butt goal, but we don't have Severson here anymore. But like to get one off the back of your head and in your own net has to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's feeling it if he's going for that shot game 1. You know what I mean? Like, he feels that, but the way he came across the middle in that second goal that he scored, and the way that he shot, and like what you're not seeing is like he's getting like hacked out and pulled out, and he just has it on his stick, and the release is perfect, and he's seeing everything in front of him. And the funny thing is, like, a lot of people are like, oh, Jack he'll heat up and then he'll cool down. Jack is one of those players, like, he's not going to heat up and cool down. He's just going to do him. And it's going to be hot the whole time. Like, 98 or 99 points last year was a great benchmark. I feel like he's going to hit 125. I feel like he's going to be in that mode where he's like, he just sees it differently. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, ask Wayne Gretzky, because the great one said the same exact thing. He said, Jack Hughes reminds me of me, and this Devils team reminds me of the early 80s Oilers that went on that run. And for Wayne Gretzky, who has never been a huge Devils fan, to come out and just basically like sing the praises of this team means they're doing something right.
Yeah, it absolutely does, and hopefully he stays consistent all season long with these, multi-point games. And healthy. And does get to that 100-point mark at minimum, because we think that's like the bare minimum for Jack Hughes in a full 82-game season. But it's that time of the show, guys. Drop your predictions in the chat on the YouTube Live, and I will read a couple of them on air. Ramona Rice says 5-2 Devils. Phil Painter says 4-2 Devils. So while people are starting to load up their predictions in the chat, Beer Baron, we'll go you first this time.
Okay.
What is your prediction for this game between the New Jersey Devils and the Florida Panthers?
Hard-fought win tonight, boys. Hard-fought win. It's going to be a 4-3 regular victory. No overtime needed. 5-3. Not 5-3. 4-3. I think it's going to be close. The Devils are going to score that late goal in the third period to make it 4-3, and they'll hold on for the win. Also, by the way, real quick, I'm so sorry. Huge shout-out to Old Wick General Store. If you ever go through the town of Tewksbury, stop by the Old Wick General Store. They got one of the best breakfast sandwiches you'll ever have in your entire life. One of my buddies is here. He's the owner of the place. You want the best anytime food, really, but breakfast sandwich, woo-hoo, Old Wick General Store. That's where you got to go.
Absolutely, that sounds delightful. Shorts guy, now that you're extra hungry, what do you think is going to happen in tonight's game?
I'm going to go simple, 3-2 Devils victory.
Very good. Very good. Sam Wu, our good pal, he predicts 6-4 Devils. Meyer with 2 goals.
All right.
Hopefully the Devils take a 6-0 or a 6-2 lead, and then 2 late goals that don't mean anything actually in that kind of score. That's what I'm hoping for. So in the chat we got JP saying 4-3 Devils. Selecta Boy says 4-2 Devils. Stave Engel says 4-3 Devils. Michael says 2-1 Devils in overtime. Dubs says 4-2 Devils. Timo 2 goals. Lots of Timo love tonight. Getting some Mercer love in the chat too. So I got the first 2 lines each having an equally as productive game. I think the Devils are going to win this game 3-2. I think Timo Meyer is going to get on the score sheet, whether it's a goal or an assist or a big hit. He makes an impact tonight. I'm liking the vibes behind that first line tonight with Hischier, Meyer, and Palat. Palat was outstanding in the preseason, and then I think we'll see Jack Hughes make at least one spectacular play, and a defenseman will score. Luke Hughes gets first of the season tonight. Wouldn't that be something? That'd be really
I like
hey,
that.
Florida
I'll
Panthers.
take it.
So,
Very cool.
you know, being a Florida guy, I think was Luke Hughes technically considered a Florida guy? I think all the Hughes brothers technically are.
Yeah, I think they are. I
technically,
think they are technically. Yeah.
Yeah, like by literally the most technical way possible. Not like they're Toronto kids more than they're Florida kids in a lot of ways. But
Yeah.
you know, let's go Devils. Hopefully they're able to get this big dub tonight against the Florida Panthers. Messed up my words there a little bit. Hopefully the Devils don't mess up their play on the ice as bad as I mess up my words sometimes. Make sure you tune in after the show or after the game for Devils After Dark. And, you know, you'll see Scotty of Sirius XM Liquid Metal. And, of course, you're always tuning into Game Day Live before each and every game where you're going to see us make all these outstanding predictions every time. Guys, it was an outstanding show, and I enjoyed talking Devils hockey.
Definitely.
Absolutely, yeah. So
Absolutely.
Looks like the beer's flowing for Beer
Dude,
Baron.
beers are flowing.
Beers are,
Let's
they
get
don't
it
call
going.
Beer Baron for no reason. And, you know, make sure you check it out after, once again, Devils After Dark. Follow along on Twitter at Let's Go Devils Pod. We will be live tweeting the game. And as always, on behalf of my good friend Sam Wu, his famous words, let's go Devils.